The first speaker tonight will be Rick Arnold. He'll talk a little bit just about the neighborhood network and some of the folks that are in charge of some of the coalitions around town.
On each of the tables there should be some blue flyers on Neighborhood Network. And so if you need more of those, I've got a few more of those back there, and part of what's on there is our different neighborhood groups that are active with us throughout the city. Neighborhood Network started over 20 years ago, and the city was doing their master plan, and they decided there was a one-year task force, some of the problems that were going on with the city, and they decided that people felt alienated and disconnected from city government, from their services, from police departments, and that they needed to change that and be more proactive about that. And so one of the ideas that came out of that was to have neighborhood groups that were more active with their city services, especially the police department. And one of the people in that group was from Chicago. Her name was Virginia Nivens, and she recruited a few of us to start Neighborhood Network and then to start individual neighborhood groups. And there's some that are here in this room that were already ongoing at that point, so they were recruited to be a part of that group. And so that started the process back then, and it really started building the relationship between the neighborhood groups and our city staff, especially our police department as we have here today. So that was kind of a nice process that started. Along came a program through the federal government called the CAS program. In fact, in Sioux City, the leader of that program is now our police chief, Doug, and he started that, and they had cops assigned to different neighborhoods. They were on bicycles, and they picked the high crime neighborhoods, and they went door to door and started building that relationship with our neighbors and with the police department, and finding out what crime was going on in the city, because they don't know. If they don't live in the neighborhood, they don't often know some of the crime that's going on, and so it started building that relationship to provide that information, and then they were very proactively working on solving those crimes. So unfortunately, that was just a grant for a few years, and we lost that money to do that. But what it did change is the philosophy in the police department. And that was on purpose, and the philosophy was to become more involved with our city and our neighborhood groups to find out about crime and proactively solve those problem areas so they would get less calls for service. And so even though we lost that funding and that department, the whole mentality of the police department started changing to be more proactive and to build the relationships that we now have successful relationships with our police department today in helping solve our crimes in the city. Now, we can't afford a cop on every corner. The city councilman's back here, they will attest to that. We don't want to raise taxes, but what we can do is keep our tax dollars down, is be more proactive in letting them know what issues we have in our neighborhoods and how they can help solve them, because they don't have these meetings just for fun. They do these so that they can solve those problems and bring our crime rate down without raising our taxes. So if we are active today and will give them frank, honest input about what problems we have, they will proactively work to make that happen. And it starts with their chief. I mean, it comes on down. There's lots of officers here throughout our city on our staff that want to solve these problems, but they want to hear from us. So be frank and honest when you're filling out those sheets. We want to have that. And you know, in all my lifetime of living here, of 30-some years that I've lived in this city, this is the best relationship we've ever had with our city staff and our police department. And we've got a lot of neighborhood groups out there that help make that happen. In addition to the police are receptive. They want to work with us. They want to solve our problems. And we encourage that. So on the back of that is some of the neighborhood groups that are active groups that are affiliated with us Neighborhood Network. Our meeting is the second Thursday of the month at the police station at 6 o'clock. That's on there. But there's some people that are leaders from some of those neighborhood groups and from our board of Neighborhood Network. So we'll start with the Neighborhood Network board. Who's active Neighborhood Network board people? We got Maria, we got Pete, we got Tiffany, we got John back there. Those are all regular Neighborhood Network boards. But then we have the individual neighborhood groups, and a lot of those are throughout our city. And you can belong to whatever group you want to belong to. If you want to join a group, they're all looking for more people to become active, involved with them, and you don't have to live in that neighborhood to help work to solve issues in our city. So I'm going to have those people raise their hands so that if you want to go sit at that table because you want to help work on an active problem in that neighborhood, then come and sit at the table, and they're more than happy to welcome you there. And so I've got their meeting times and so forth on the back, but we'll start. Riverside is Pete. He's the captain of the Riverside, leader there. We've got Tiffany back there. She covers West Side Coalition. That's West Side area right there. We do have a Crescent Park area, and they changed their meeting date. And on this program, it should be High B. They're meeting actually tonight at 7 o'clock at High B. That's the Crescent Park group, and their contact information is on there. They were going to present this on the screen, scrolling throughout the evening, so it will be correct on there. It's just that these were printed, I don't know, 2 months ago, and they've changed their meeting location. It's the High B out there, and so their meeting tonight can't be here. Jackie from Greenville, she is going to be here, but can't get here until 8 o'clock, so she's going to be here. We have Rose Hill right over here. So Corey's, and so they're also on there. The Rose Hill meeting. That used to be called the Near North Side. They just went up a little farther north, and so there we've got Near West Side Coalition. So Karen over here, she regularly attends that. There's also a group that meets at St. Luke's on the north side that happens monthly also. So. Anyway, you can go to whatever group you want to be involved with. If you want to get a group started in your neighborhood, we would really like that, encourage that, and help support you to become an active group in whatever neighborhood you live in. There's no rules. You can do what you want you think will help solve your issues. And then, if you are an active group and a regular group, the police will assign a liaison to come to your meetings. So every month you can report problems that are happening in your neighborhood, and they will actively work on those problems. So it really works, folks, and so we definitely encourage you to get involved. And then today, just be honest and frank. Whatever your issues are, put them down there, and they're going to listen to these. All get reported back, and they will proactively work on solving that. Now, they can't solve everything overnight, but they're here to listen. That's what they're here for, and they want your input. So don't be shy about writing things down that are going on in their city. So, any questions out there?
I don't see Morningside on here.
No. Now, Morningside's always been a struggle getting them organized because they don't think they have crime out there. And that has been a problem getting active Morningside groups. Now, we have, occasionally we'll have people that will want to get something going, and we encourage that. We've got a couple of churches that are kind of trying to get more organized. They had our National Night Out event that we have every year in August, and so they're trying to get something going. So if you are in Morningside, get with me, and we would really, really like to have Morningside groups out there. And that's been a struggle for many, many years to get that going. And so typically our groups that are the more active are the ones that have more crime issues, and that gives them motivation, safety-wise, to get involved. And we've always struggled with Morningside. We've always wanted Morningside groups, and we've got our Greenville Pact group out there, but we've struggled with Morningside. So if you guys would be interested, we would really like that. And it doesn't have to be you guys as leaders, but if you know somebody that would be leaders, we can pool together a few different parties and try to get something going.
I think everybody that I know out in Morningside, we all carry guns. So we may be scaring all the trouble away.
That could be if they're going to the other location, something like that. But if you do know of anybody that would be interested in maybe, and there's no prerequisites as to what activities you do, it just could be meeting monthly to discuss issues, whatever, we would really like for that to be the case and encourage backing that up. So any more questions before we move on to the next lady speaker? So these are on your table. If you want more of these, let me know. We've got more of those. Yes, we have a question over here. Oh, yeah.
If you want to put a group together, how often do they have to meet? Is there any requirement?
No, it's up to you. Like Greenville meets every other month, so they do every other month. So it's a little easier if you meet monthly, but maybe you don't have needs or issues, and it's hard to get people together. And so it's up to you. You can do your own thing, and but you have to meet regularly to get a police liaison, because they want to make sure that that they're assigning officers time, because they're taking somebody off the streets to come and be at the meeting, so they want to be valuable use of their time, and so they want to have regular meetings. But yeah, every other month is fine. Yeah, and that you may start out that way. It'll be easier to build, and then as you get more active and you get more people, then you can go to every month if that works and you have enough people. So there's no rules and limitations as to where you can be or how often you want to meet or what you want to do in activities. So that's all up to you and what you think your neighborhood needs. But we're here to support you. The Neighborhood Network, we're the kind of the master board, and we're here to support you. We get together and in a different neighborhood may have had that issue and they know how to solve it, and so they can relay that on to you and help you. So great minds getting together can make great things happen. So but yeah, think about it, because we really like to encourage more people to get involved and have more neighborhood groups. Any other questions? And we really like our relationship with the police department. They support us a lot. We also have a quarterly meeting, so we meet with city manager and staff department heads. So quarterly, and so if we have other issues, tonight we're focusing more on crime than other things, but if we may have snowplow issues or light issues, or we may have other issues, junk yards or things like that we can deal with. Through our quarterly meeting, then we can meet with the city heads and say, hey, can you deal with these other issues out there? And they are proactive about that. So we have an awesome relationship with our city staff now, and it's been years of hard work by a lot of people in this room that have had neighborhood groups and helped us and our board and so on and so forth. So sorry to take up so much time.